Well, welcome. Today, we're steelhead fishing on the Upper Columbia River. And once again, my good friend Shane Magnuson, Upper Columbia Guide, now found on the web, by the way,
yes,
at uppercolumbiaguide.com. You can learn all about all the different fisheries that Shane's involved in by going to his new website. That's terrific. But when we're talking steelhead on the Upper Columbia, I was teasing Shane recently. This is my kind of weather. Let's talk steelhead. The snow's on the ground. The water temperatures have cooled. And in the last, we're in early December now, and in the last 2 or 3 weeks, the weather's changed and the bite has really come on.
Well, you know, Dave, that what happens is you get this cold weather, and this cold river starts to finally cool down after our warm summer, and we're just, even though these fish have been here for a long time, we're really just getting into the good fishing. This river's down into the upper 40s, and the fish are really starting to bite now.
It makes a big difference. This particular year, we had one of the earliest openers that I can remember, but I didn't get excited about fishing until I saw the temperatures drop and some snow on the ground.
Well, that's exactly it. Our fish get here earlier in the fall, but they're just not ready to do their thing till now. The water's just warm and tough then.
Exactly, you know. And we're bobber and jig fishing right in the town of Pateros, which is a great destination because there's a lot of services here. There's 2 great hotels you can stay in. There's a great store that has everything you need for a day of fishing. There's a great bakery, and so it's a nice destination for anglers that want to try the Upper Columbia.
Well, it really is. You got you're not just going to a boat launch and you're out fishing for the day. We have done in the past. You come in and you can warm up during the day. You can get lunches. You can have breakfast before you go out, and it's all right there at your fingertips.
It's a terrific place to go. Pateros is right at the mouth of the Methow River, which is a fabulous steelhead stream. Just to the north of us is the mouth of the Okanagan River, which is another great steelhead stream. So you can always count on good numbers of fish in this area.
For sure. They all have to come here, and a lot of them are staying here.
Yeah. Now, and when we're talking about bobber and jig fishing, I'm going to say there's about 4 rules. There's rod length and action, your line, and by that I'm talking about your main line,
right,
your jig selection, and leader type.
Exactly.
Those are pretty important elements, and those I wanted you to explain to people a little bit more in detail what I'm talking about there.
Well, that's all the important stuff, and people don't realize these fish, they get spooked, they get finicky. They're not typically not as aggressive as a salmon, more or less. When we're trolling the big flashers and the downriggers and things, they like small stuff. They like stuff that is natural, stuff that it isn't going to shy them away.
Right.
Starting with rods, we're fishing with 9-foot Berkeley Air Buzz Ramsey rods. I also use a lot of St. Croix rods, 9.5 foot. I say when we fish these fisheries, a 9-foot rod is a minimum size rod for what we're doing.
Exactly, and that's because of the style of fishing and keeping control of your bobber and mending your line. That's what the longer rod comes into play.
Exactly. And moving forward onto line.
Yes.
These rods their length is to mend the line. Well, what line? We use a lot of braided line. This is a Stren microfuse. There's a lot of braided lines out there. There's Power Pro. There's Fireline. There's a lot of different things that a lot of braided lines you can use. The trick with the braided line is that it floats. And when your line's sitting on the water, being able to pick that up and mend it so that you can get a good hook set on a fish is very key when it comes to bobber fishing on the Columbia.
Keeping a straight line to your bobber is really critical, because if you've got a big wow in your line, when that bobber goes down, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. By the time you get all that slack out of there, which monofilament that sinks, you can't get that slack out, then you miss a lot of fish.
Exactly. Now, what kind of leader material do you prefer, and what line test? This year we're actually seeing a lot of fish in the 8 to 10 pound range, and so your leader I know you prefer a fluorocarbon
Right.
in the first place. And for, say, today's action, when we expect to catch 8 to 10 pound fish and maybe some larger, what line test are you using?
Well, I do use all fluorocarbon. It's a trilene 100% fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
I have used 10-pound test all through every year, no matter the fish size.
Right.
10-pound test, you can land some big fish on. You just have to have your drag set properly. The reason I don't go heavier than 10 is, again, we go back to these fish being shy and finicky, especially after they've had a couple boats float over top of them. They get line shy. They start seeing line and they won't bite as well. So I stick with the lighter fluorocarbons. I have went as low as 8, but 10 seems to be very sufficient.
And that's when a nice, long, medium action rod also comes into play with your success of landing these fish, even though they're larger. That's a good shock absorber.
Exactly. You'll let the rod, that long, medium action rod, take all the pressure and all the tension and not the leader.
Sure. Now, over the years, you and I have fished a lot of those good old rock dancer jigs.
Oh, yeah.
Which are a hair jig, and one of the reasons I always preferred those is always give them a big heavy dose of that Graybill's guide formula before I put them in the
You gotta
water.
have the secret sauce.
Absolutely. But that'll hold up well. The deer hair, it does not damage that. But I noticed today you're using some marabou jigs, and these are fairly new, aren't they?
Well, these are fairly new. These marabou jigs have been around for a long time, but
Sure.
these particular ones are fairly new. I have played with a lot of things over the last couple years, and I still use some bucktail hair jigs, and I still do some different things, tie my own. But these jigs we're using today, they're made by Yakima Bait. They're called a maxi jig, and they've done a real nice job. If you're not familiar with Yakima Bait, they bailed all the corkies, all the different colors of corkies you might use.
Right, been around forever.
Been around forever. Well, they've taken that same thing and they've painted these jig heads different corky colors. So they're not just one color. They're actually a multicolored head, which, say this one has pink on one side
Got
and
some
orange on the other.
contrast, sure.
That's going to catch these fish's attention. Then they add a couple little beads on there, and I kind of like the beads.
Yeah.
You put a shrimp tail on there, and those beads lay underneath there like it's eggs, and it just
Sure.
adds a little color, a little something else to the dimension.
Right.
And then the marabou, you always get a little action off the marabou in the water, where you don't so much as the bucktail.
Right.
And of course, we go back and forth, and we play with both. But over the time, these maxi jigs and these marabou on them have been very quality fish catching jigs.
Well, and another thing I noticed about these is I like the hook gap. When you bait that hook, you still, and what I want to mention too about the bait, when you buy it, you can buy, Shane's brand of bait, which is very effective.
Yeah, we make our own stuff. This tub's a little beat up from sitting in the boat, but it's called guide shrimp. You find it at Hooked on Toys.
Oh man, and I go through tons of them every year.
That's
and
good stuff.
They're not only brined and dyed, but also have a hint of that good scent already in them.
Well, that's exactly it. These shrimp here, they already have the smell on them. So if you want to use a marabou jig that you can't put scent on because of the marabou, the shrimp already have a good smell to them.
It won't destroy the action of the jig, absolutely. And I like that hook gap because when you do get it baited, you have a nice hook point exposed. And it's important for people to know that when you get shrimp, you don't use the whole shrimp, you only use the tail, and you just want to create a nice profile that matches the jig and keep that hook point exposed. That's important too.
Exactly. These fish, they bite down on that jig. You want them to get stuck on that point, so when you do get the slack out of the line and you set the hook, you're right on it.
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, why don't we put all of these together and get out in the water and give it a try.
Sounds good.
No matter where anglers are heading, whether it's Banks Lake, Lake Roosevelt, or Rufus Woods Reservoir, they all make the same stop. That's at Big Wally's in Coulee City. Here they find everything they need for a successful day on the water: fuel, ice, a tackle shop, and people who know what they're selling behind the counter, state and tribal licenses, even a hot breakfast or lunch. When you're on the go, don't forget to stop at Big Wally's and visit their website at bigwallysfishing.com. SUPERDUTY.com.
When the weather starts to cool, it's the signal for hot fishing for steelhead. If you're not ready for this exciting season, better get to Hooked on Toys in Wenatchee. They have everything a steelheader need, from rods and reels to jigs and bait. There is no better selection of all this gear than what you'll find on the shelves at Hooked on Toys. Get geared up. Get to Hooked on Toys, 1444 North Wenatchee Avenue, and be sure to visit them online at hookedontoys.com.
Honey, you are not gonna believe this. I bought Pepsi Next.
What's Pepsi Next?
It's the new cola from Pepsi. It's got real cola taste, but 60% less sugar.
Real cola taste. 60% less sugar.
Yeah. I know.
It's unbelievable.
But this is the most impressive thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh, definitely. Look at the camera. I've never had anything like it. My parents are gonna flip.
Yeah, they're gonna be so proud.
Introducing Pepsi Next. Drink it to believe it.
Are you getting this, honey? It's going viral.
Boy, it didn't take long to get him dialed in.
No.
I'm just kidding. Take your time. Just take your time. On point.
It's not going to be here in a little bit.
You just keep good tension on
A lot of power in them.
it. Rod down. Rod down. There we go. Did you get him? Were you setting the hook over there, Rolly?
No.
Oh.
Up,
up.
Beautiful fish. Beautiful fish.
It certainly is, Jim. I'll tell you that. Nice job, Jim. Nice job.
All right. Nice job to you. Let's bring
very
this.
good job of landing on there.
Nice fish. That's a big steelhead.
Is that a nice fish?
That's a big steelhead.
That is.
That's in that 13-pound range. That's a big buck, male.
Especially for a buck.
I think Bill's showing off back here. Another hatchery fish.
Oh, great.
Take the greenhorn out. That's another meat and table there, Bill. Oh, boy.
Another big hatchery fish. Walk over here, walk over here, walk over here, walk over here. There we go. Woo!
Another frisky one.
There you go. Good. Now, nice and easy. All right, another big fish.
It is.
Another big fish.
That is a nice fish. Not as big, but that is a nice fish.
I want you to stay right on this edge. Okay? There we go. That way when he goes underneath the boat, we can go with him. That's another gorgeous fish. Nice fish. All right.
Nice snag. Nice snag with him.
Let's take that one home too, shall we?
This reel is driven. It's not smooth.
That was one of my old ones. It's been with me for the second season. The reels only last me about a season and a half.
Do they just wear out the gears, the bearings?
Come on. Yep, that's good. There's some-
It's a pretty girl. She almost decided she didn't want to go in there.
No, I know.
She almost.
I actually kind of just stuck it in there and she swam into it.
Good shot.
The last one's a Nice little fish.
Yeah, it's nice. Got some color on it.
Where'd it go, Raleigh?
You know, I actually thought I had tight on the cork, and I thought I was pulling the cork, so I didn't set it initially.
It also looks like a little hatchery.
Raleigh.
It's like a little hatchery.
You got this barber thing figured out, Jim.
Look at that run.
That's a good one.
That's got some action.
I wanted a crazy knife just to sit there and turn the handle. I want you to pull up slow, take a couple cranks, This fish took a lot of line.
Yeah, it did.
This is Dave Graybill, the Fishin Magician, and when I fish the Upper Columbia and the Madhow Rivers for steelhead, I stay at the Lake Pateros Inn. I can tie my boat right up out front and be minutes from the action. The famous Miller Hole on the Madhow is less than 2 miles away. The rooms are comfortable and surprisingly affordable, and I'll be making the Lake Pateros Inn my base camp. To learn how to book your room at the Lake Pateros Inn, log on to lakepaterosmotorinn.com or call 866-444-1985. The goal of Battery Systems is to provide the best products combined with the most efficient service at competitive prices. I've found their people live up to this, so don't buy anything without talking to them. You should make their batteries and accessories your choice to power your vehicles and boats. This is Dave Graybill, and I choose Battery Systems to keep me running onshore and on the water. To find a Battery Systems product expert in a location near you, log on to batterysystems.net.
Yorktown Ford is kicking off the season with the best deals of the year. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event. Great power and amazing fuel economy means no compromises. And that's what you get in a truck built Ford Tough, like the Ford F-150, with a powerful and efficient EcoBoost engine. The power you want and the economy you need. Or Ford Super Duty, with its amazing 6.7-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. If you're looking for power, payload, towing economy, Yorktown Ford's got the truck for you. Head to your Town Ford in East Wenatchee.
Yeah, these fish, they hold themselves really well for the distance they have to travel.
Oh, yeah.
They're just great looking fish.
Well done,
Nice
gents.
fish.
Well done.
Dave, nice looking fish.
Pull that one right in the boat.
Beautiful fish.
Wow, look at that. Look at that
That's
hatchery.
a beautiful hatchery fish. That's 9 or 10.
Yeah, that fish is 10 pounds.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a very, very nice fish. She's got some shoulders.
Way to go, Jim. Way to go.
All right, let's see if we can find that jig. Nice fish. Another nice big hen.
Oh, look at her. Look at her. See her sides are nice and full of a lot of eggs in there.
Send her back home.
Got a little bit of
Nice fish.
a little tight.
Ah, okay.
No matter where anglers are heading, whether it's Banks Lake, Lake Roosevelt, or Rufus Woods Reservoir, they all make the same stop. That's at Big Wally's in Coulee City. Here they find everything they need for a successful day on the water: fuel, ice, a tackle shop, and people who know what they're selling behind the counter, state and tribal licenses, even a hot breakfast or lunch. When you're on the go, don't forget to stop at Big Wally's and visit their website at bigwallysfishing.com.
When the weather starts to cool, it's the signal for hot fishing for steelhead. If you're not ready for this exciting season, better get to Hooked on Toys in Wenatchee. They have everything a steelheader needs, from rods and reels to jigs and bait. There is no better selection of all this gear than what you'll find on the shelves at Hooked on Toys. Get geared up. Get to Hooked on Toys, 1444 North Wenatchee Avenue, and be sure to visit them online at hookedontoys.com.
Smile for Mom.
Honey, you are not gonna believe this. I bought Pepsi Next.
What's Pepsi Next?
It's the new cola from Pepsi. It's got real cola taste, but 60% less sugar.
Real cola taste. 60% less sugar.
Yeah. I know.
It's unbelievable.
But this is the most impressive thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh, definitely. Let me get the camera. I've never had anything like it. My parents are gonna flip.
Yeah, they're gonna be so proud.
Introducing Pepsi Next. Drink it to believe it.
Are you getting this, honey? It's going viral.
This is Dave Graybill, the Fishin Magician, and when I fish the Upper Columbia and the Madhow Rivers for steelhead, I stay at the Lake Pateros Inn. I can tie my boat right up out front and be minutes from the action. The famous Miller Hole on the Madhow is less than 2 miles away. The rooms are comfortable and surprisingly affordable, and I'll be making the Lake Pateros Inn my base camp. To learn how to book your room at the Lake Pateros Inn, log on to lakepaterosmotorin.com or call 866-444-1985. The goal of Battery Systems is to provide the best products combined with the most efficient service at competitive prices. I've found their people live up to this, so don't buy anything without talking to them. You should make their batteries and accessories your choice to power your vehicles and boats. This is Dave Graybill, and I choose Battery Systems to keep me running onshore and on the water. To find a Battery Systems product expert in a location near you, log on to batterysystems.net.
Your town Ford is kicking off the season with the best deals of the year. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck Event. Great power and amazing fuel economy means no compromises. And that's what you get in a truck built Ford Tough, like the Ford F-150 with a powerful and efficient EcoBoost engine. The power you want and the economy you need. Or Ford Super Duty with its amazing 6.7-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. If you're looking for power, payload, towing economy, your town Ford's got the truck for you. Head to your town Ford in East Wenatchee.
Well, here's our crew today. Excellent day of winter steelhead fishing with our good friend and guide Shane Magnuson. And let's introduce this gang.
I'm Jim Passage from Leavenworth, and I want to thank our guide for a great day.
Thank you.
Very good job of guiding. Thank you.
I'm Bill Ballantyne from Kirkland, Washington. And I too want to thank Shane, our guide, did an excellent job. I want to thank Raleigh here, Mr. Passage, and of course yourself, Dave. A great day.
Congratulations on your first steelhead, Bill.
Well, thank you very much.
And 4 more to boot. What a day. What a great time. Thanks a bunch.
I'm Raleigh Smitten from Lake Wenatchee,
Yeah.
the Honorable Bait Boy. Let me tell you how proud I am of this gentleman, though. 5 steelhead on his first ever steelhead to be caught day. Fantastic.
Again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bill, you were sort of the instigator of this whole thing, and I can't say how much we all appreciated being along on this trip. And thanks to Shane for offering this to the Trout Unlimited Icicle Valley chapter of Trout Unlimited. And this was the result. A fantastic day of steelhead.
And a beautiful day. Cold day, but a beautiful day.